Most people overpay for drone accessories like this. Here's why this Syncovia gimbal cover is actually worth it. If you've ever lost a signal mid-flight or scratched up your DJI Mavic 3 gimbal, you know how frustrating it can be. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've flown my Mavic 3 for over a year now, and between rough landings and accidental bumps, the gimbal cover took a beating. I finally decided to upgrade to something more durable, and this Syncovia one caught my eye because it's designed specifically for the Mavic 3. At first glance, it looks simple, just a rubber sleeve that wraps around the gimbal, but it's actually made with a high-quality silicone material that feels solid in hand. It's not flimsy like some cheap covers I've tried before, and the texture gives it a nice grip so it doesn't slide off easily. One thing I really like is how it protects the gimbal without blocking the camera's view. The cutouts are precise, so the lens and sensors still get a clear line of sight. I've flown in low light and bright sunlight, and the cover doesn't cause any glare or distortion. That's a big deal because I don't want to sacrifice image quality just to keep my gear safe. Installation is straightforward too. It's basically a stretchy sleeve that you slide over the gimbal, and it snaps into place. I was worried it might interfere with the gimbal's movement, but it doesn't. The gimbal still tilts and rotates smoothly, and the cover stays put even during sharp turns or sudden stops. I've had it on for weeks now, and it hasn't shifted once. That's a relief because I've dealt with covers that slip and end up blocking the camera mid-flight. Not fun. Durability is where this really shines. I've crashed my drone a few times, and while the cover got scuffed up, the gimbal underneath stayed scratch-free. The material is thick enough to absorb impacts but thin enough not to add bulk. It's also easy to clean, just a quick wipe with a damp cloth, and it looks good as new. I've used it in dusty conditions and even light rain, and it held up without any issues. Another thing worth mentioning is the design. It's not just functional, it actually looks sleek. The matte finish gives it a premium feel, and the minimalist design doesn't clash with the drone's aesthetic. It's small and lightweight, so it doesn't add any noticeable weight to the drone, which is important for flight time and stability. Now, I'll be honest, no product is perfect. The only minor downside I've noticed is that the sleeve can be a little tight to put on at first, especially if it's cold. You have to stretch it a bit to get it over the gimbal, but once it's on, it fits snugly. Also, if you're used to flying without a cover, you might need a day or two to get used to the slight change in feel. But honestly, those are small trade-offs for the protection it provides. Overall, I'm really happy with this Syncovia gimbal cover. It's a simple solution that does exactly what it's supposed to: protect your gimbal without compromising performance. If you're tired of replacing damaged gimbals or dealing with scratches, this is a solid investment. It's affordable, durable, and easy to use. If you're on the fence, I'd say give it a try. The link is below if you want to check it out. For most buyers, the real question is not whether Syncovia for Mavic 3 gimbal camera with for signal for DJI for drone for parts sounds impressive on paper, but whether strengths like good texture and have long service life. And to ensure the practicality and durability actually make daily use feel easier, more dependable, and more worthwhile after the first few days of excitement were off. It is also smart to think about long-term satisfaction. A product like Syncovia for Mavic 3 gimbal camera with for signal for DJI for drone for parts usually feels like the better buy when it stays convenient, comfortable, and reliable in normal everyday use instead of only looking good in the listing.